This is my video on how not to give a shit. So I've often been told, Mark, you're very good at not giving shit. It seems you don't give a shit. Wow, I wish I could not give a shit like you. And I was like, what? And then I started thinking about it, like, oh yeah, it does seem like there's some sort of capacity there that I've developed, partly consciously, partly unconsciously, partly just lucky, but also developed that, of not giving a shit. So first of all, I'd say it's not about giving no shit, yeah? It's about choosing your values, being aligned with your values, being aligned with what you care about. So this is not so much about not giving a shit. This whole field, one could say, is about staying true to one's values. To those, you need to know what they are. Personally, I feel that being in touch with the body is helpful. You know, the body awareness piece of going, okay, this doesn't feel good to me, this does, or it doesn't, rather than being pushed around, manipulated by other people's values. The big one for me has been exposure to death. So this may sound very morbid, like, oh my God, what has that got to do with this? But actually, the idea that our life is limited, that we're here for a finite amount of time, really focusing us. I do a lot of death meditations with groups for the Embodied Yoga or Embodied Facilitator course, things I'm part of, and that focusing upon what really matters is super vital for this focusing of one's shit, not giving a shit, not sweating the small stuff. Yeah. What else? Well, I think there's a practice here. For me, a lot of it came from being in foreign countries and, trying to speak their language or may I understood in English and just being embarrassed and being like constantly doing socially inappropriate things for that culture, wherever it was. And then realizing like, oh, it's all fucking a game, right? Like it's all a game. In my own culture, we're all, any culture you're born into, you're to some extent imprisoned by. And then once you travel, once you realize that there's different games elsewhere, you kind of see through it. So I'd say travel would be another one for this. So yeah, being clear about your values, being well aligned with those, feeling those in the body, traveling. The practice, like as an active practice, there's things you can do. There's things you can do to get that slight social inappropriateness. There's things like little things you can like standing along around in a lift or an elevator or escalator. You could sing a song at the top of your voice in the street. You could stare up in the sky in the middle of the high street. There's lists you can find about these sort of things. Now, nothing dangerous, nothing illegal, nothing immoral, just things that are like a bit weird. And once you've done these, your system goes, oh, I didn't die. What happened there? That's strange. I'm giving a shit about my camera here now. So, yeah, that idea that you'll get that feedback to your whole system of like, I didn't die, like, wow, amazing. You got to be careful because every time we listen to that little voice inside that says, don't do it, be afraid, it's scary, be socially appropriate, then again, you will also reinforce that system because your system will say, like, unconsciously, of course, like, oh, look, nothing bad happened because I conformed. Yeah, so learning how to be an unconformist, there's lots of different ways to do it, those little practices. And for me, a lot of it was like talking to girls, like as a guy traveling around, oh wow, she looks beautiful, I want to talk to her. And respectfully, whatever, I go and talk to someone and there'd be that sense of like, oh, this is a bit cheeky, right? It's something British people don't do. And always listening for that, if it's not appropriate at all, but often it would be well received. And I'd be like, wow, okay, so that kind of helped me. That was one of my motivations as a young man, should we say, to go out there and do something a little bit different. Certainly running a business, constantly putting myself on the line. And that is practice in not giving a shit. That's like, for me, like choosing who to listen to also means I don't just listen to random people. Yeah, so having my close friends, family, they're a good bullshit check. Mentors, other peers in my work, if you're also an embodiment trainer that I respect, I am going to listen. So it's not like I don't give a shit, but if like a random Yahoo noob off YouTube, like criticizing one of my videos like this one, or, you tell me my eyebrows are too big or my cheeks are too shiny today or whatever the fuck it is, it's like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. Yeah. So I think constantly reminding yourself like how much in a person's opinion matters. Now, it's not to say they don't matter as a human being, but their opinion doesn't matter. Yeah. Their opinion is not worth the same as an expert in the field, as someone who's, love I care about deeply. Being well loved, being well resourced, having that great social support, interestingly, is also part of not giving a shit. It's like, for me, I always had quite, I say, secure attachment. Psychology would say I have a mother who is very supportive and like, whatever you do, honey, I love you no matter what. Fantastic, right? That secure attachment. And if you didn't have that in childhood, it's not too late to have a happy childhood. You can also get that secure attachment from other people. There are people in my life who have my back, people in my life who I get that from regularly, and that means I'm just You know, I notice when I'm connected to those people, I don't care about the Facebook comments. I don't care about the nasty YouTube comments or whatever, because it's like there's love flowing in a more real way. So I'm not looking with insecurity for like grasping after every little piece of approval that's out there. So yeah, staying connected to depth, your key values, being well resourced, emotionally being connected to the real people in your life that really matter, knowing the difference between people's opinions that matter, practicing it, you know, finding a body that supports that, so being able to be centered, because it is stressful. You know, we're social animals, and part of us is terrified of being kicked out of the cave. If you think of the evolutionary heritage of this, there was a time when it was very dangerous for anyone not to like us. Yeah, that was a bad thing. If you were in a little tribe of monkeys and there was 50 of you in a cave, if one or two of those didn't like you, that was a problem. If 10 of them didn't like you, that was dangerous. So, you know, dangerous to your life. So we still have that in our evolution. So you need to understand, yeah, okay, this is where it comes from. But we live in a modern world. We're surrounded by thousands of people in person, you know, and out there that that their opinion isn't important, and it's not dangerous. And doing it as a practice and saying, "Oh look, I didn't die." So it's not giving a shit, and this doesn't mean not giving a shit about anything. I want to say that again. It doesn't mean being callous, but in the sense of staying connected to one's values and being uninfluenced by conformity as a practice. You know, like no entrepreneur is a conformist. No one who's ever made a new achievement, a new breakthrough is a conformist. There has to be that element, and this is a way of being we can practice in our bodies, in our minds, and in our relationships. So not giving shit, paradoxically, is all about really giving a shit. And I'd say the key to freedom. And you know, the other day I was dancing in the street. There was like a performer in Brighton High Street, and they were playing a song, and I started dancing. You know, I was just having a good time. I was in my suit, actually. I was just on the way back from a business meeting, and this guy like looks at me, like a big muscly guy, and he's like, "You weirdo!" And he was really like aggressive, you know. And I was shocked, you know. It didn't feel good, you know. And then I walked off, and within a few minutes, I went, actually, I felt sorry for that guy. So here's a guy who's like obviously building his body, maybe to kind of get the perfect body, and daren't even dance. Like, what the fuck is music for if not dancing, right? And he actually felt so bad about himself not being able to do that. This is my sense, my guess, that it was intolerable that someone else had that kind of freedom to just dance and have a good time, you know, in a sunny day in the street, like to music. Why not, right? Why not? So I felt sorry for that guy, and I thought, you know what? That guy's not going to get the partner he wants. That guy's not going to have the career he wants. That guy's in a prison. So the practice of not giving a shit is the only way we can really be free. It's the only way we can really achieve what we want to achieve and connect with who we want to connect with. So business, romance, whatever the field, not giving a shit, absolutely vital. And it's a skill that can be practiced. So I hope this video has been useful.